Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
and best friends Terry Gamble
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and sub-subgenres,
classic and cult,
international
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up Horror Movie Survival Guide tips to
help you stay alive. Oh my goodness, what's up, all you horror heads, horror movie survival guiders? I'm coming to you solo today, which is super weird from my bunker here. But you know what? I wanted to make sure we got this to you. We had a delightful interview today with the amazing LOTFY Nathan, Egyptian-born, London-raised, British-American writer-director. His first film, the documentary 12 O'Clock Boys, earned him the HBO Emerging Artist Award, and he was selected in over 50 international festivals, including South by Southwest, Sundance, which we adore and love, for the Lincoln Center, VNL, Hot Docs, London, and Copenhagen, so many places around the world. 12 O'Clock Boys was subsequently distributed in the United States, and then purchased and then put on Showtime and Amazon. My goodness, a couple of places you might know. And he optioned Will Smith's company, and it was optioned by Will Smith's company, Overbrook Entertainment, to adapt it into a drama. In 2015, LOTFY was a recipient of the Creative Capital and participated in a Cinereach Foundation Director's Residency. He had previously been a recipient of the Garrett Scott Fund, the Peter Reed Foundation, the Grainger Marburg Fund, and the IFP Fellowship. His narrative feature film debut, Harka, for which he participated in the Sundance Film Institute's writing workshop, world premiered in the official selection at Cannes in 2022. Winning the Best Performance Award for his lead actor, Adam Bessa. He brings to us now an incredible film, The Carpenter's Son, starring none other than freaking Nic Cage, FKA Twigs, and an incredible stellar lineup. I'm so excited to chat with them today. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Hello! Welcome.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide. My name is Terry. I am so excited to meet you and excited about your disturbing, wonderful, beautiful film.
Thank you.
So, I would love to know kind of your genesis of, I guess using a biblical term, the genesis of this project. Like, where did this start brewing your mind? How long has this been an idea for you to tackle this
hmm
story?
Yeah, well, I was introduced to this the infancy gospel, the apocryphal texts by my dad. I think it was maybe 2021 or something. He We were talking about ideas for movies. Because he's big into history. He's not religious himself, but he was raised Coptic Christian, and so was I. You know, my other side of my family is a lot more religious, but he got a lot of interest in history and old religious texts. Um, and I remembered asking him if he had any good ideas for movies, and he was like, "Well, actually, there's this great old book, um, the Infancy Gospel of Thomas." And he showed me that, and I thought it was just really incredible. Um, and immediately just clicked as a movie. I could see the beginning text over black, just kind of giving the context of
Mm-hmm.
this. Um, and that already was starting to give me the kind of genre idea to it as well. This kind of the feeling of that. Suddenly, all these things were clicking. Uh, the the idea that this a story in the biblical setting hadn't really been done. I felt hadn't really been done quite with the horror in mind. With that genre in mind, and it suddenly felt very fitting that it should be done when you think about the Old Testament and all of the stories. So it was really just a rush of inspiration all of a sudden. And really from that point, I was just like, I have to make this movie because it genuinely felt like something I'd want to see, you
Yeah.
know? And that, I mean, for me at least, as a filmmaker, it's really rare to find something that's like, okay, well, I don't think this has been done before. this is very interesting. The idea is novel, and it's something I was able to kind of hang my coat on, with the ambition of it, and also all of the visual things that were going to come into play. Um, so it was just, I knew that the idea could kind of sustain me for a while too. Sorry, that's a very long answer.
No, that's not. It's I mean it's film is hard sometimes and it can take years and it can take, a long time from thought to implementation and everything as well too. But I was just really curious about it because I feel like
Yeah,
I grew up with a very religious family. I'm not that now, but I, always often thought of Bible stories when I relayed them to friends who didn't grow up with religion at all. They're like, those are terrifying. I'm like, I never thought about it that way as a kid, but then as an adult and revisiting these texts or looking at kind of the different versions and the apocryphal texts especially, you
yeah,
are given the weight of what these stories can really feel like, and they are sometimes really, really terrifying.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that to me was like, I think probably also came from my filmmaking discipline, which is where, initially from documentary, and then my first scripted film from 2022 was kind of very naturalistic, and all of that as well. So when I was picturing this setting, even in antiquity, and with this subject matter and with all of the supernatural elements, I was thinking of it with with realism in mind, like if that stuff really did happen, and if it really did happen, it would be daunting and scary. And I went down the rabbit hole with all of that and thinking even a vision, from angels
yeah.
would be shocking and overwhelming. And you see it in art over the years, the way that divinity gets depicted. There's this painting that I always loved, this Rembrandt painting, uh Belshazzar's Feast, I think it's called. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like a handwriting these Hebrew characters
Oh yeah,
in the air, while there's
yeah.
these
While they're
people
like out in the
indulging.
desert,
No,
yeah.
no, actually like a very corpulent, kind of, I think it's like a corrupt family
Okay.
dining at a table with golden chalices and robes that are draped in jewels, and they're seeing this hand form these characters
Mm-hmm.
in the air, and it's from an angel, but it's terrifying. I just think that was really, yeah. I just what I mean is that there's all different ways to look at it, and it's easy to see it as daunting, frightening as well.
Absolutely terrifying. I think you've absolutely captured all of that in this film. What
Yeah.
was it like to, I guess, get this whole group together, the casting and rehearsal process? You assembled a super team for this film. This cast is absolutely incredible. I mean, obviously you have Nic Cage firing on Nic Cage cylinders, but FKA
Hmm.
Twigs, I think, is revolutionary in this movie. She's so just grounded and just really nice juxtaposition with Cage. What was it like
Yeah.
assembling this crew together? And also shout out to Isla Johnston. Oh my
Oh yeah.
goodness. Like incredible performance there too. So
Yeah. She's
yeah.
really she's shocking. I mean, but all of them are great in very different ways. I think they just all had their own um strong reads of the characters, to start with Twigs. I mean, she's just a great artist. We would always have these conversations, not really initially not really about acting, but more so just about what the film could be. And it was always just so great to speak to her as an artistic collaborator. And I think she didn't necessarily see herself as an actress, but she is. She has that, and um,
She's
it's
an
nice.
artist,
She
which
just
is
yeah,
artist, Yeah.
exactly, and I think that's worth a lot. And she also just has this natural, inherent poise and grace and kind of calm that in itself is sort of daunting, a little bit intimate. It's formidable, her kind of quiet thing too.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a great, strong thing for Mary as a firm, confident fixture. Um, with this underlying self-awareness and inherent faith, you know. Whereas Nick, I feel like he's elemental and kind of all too human, you know,
Hmm.
and prone to the kind of, the range of a human being as well, which he does so well, in all different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And so we talked about that, and he just embodies that so well. And then Noah just having this, great appreciation for the character, not as playing Jesus, you know what I mean, but just treating it another way. I think that was a difficult role to kind of naturalize and make grounded, and I think he did that very well. Also, just playing this push and pull between a kind of like rebelliousness and being difficult,
Yeah.
with this vulnerability and that coming of age thing. I think he just did that very well. And then Isla, I mean, Isla is just
Wow.
exceptional. She, to me, was like a revelation to watch. It was an exciting character to write, the stranger. Because,
Yeah.
by the way, Terry, cut me off if I'm rambling here at any point, because
You're
you
literally
just go
here
on.
to go on. This is
Okay.
your job. You're doing a beautiful job.
Okay, thanks. Um, I was gonna say that character ended up being really interesting for me to take a dive into, in the script, because it was, to try to find some backstory for the devil, and where that person comes from, what their gripe is. Every character in a story feels like they're the main character, right?
Oh
And you
yeah.
have to kind of account for like where they're coming from, what do they want, you know, who do they feel injured by, and in diving into that and researching, you see that the Satan, as the story would go, was a fallen angel who used to be in heaven, and
Yeah.
presiding near God, and was shunned, right? So probably from Satan's perspective, that wasn't fair, you know.
Yeah. No.
Um, so so that was a whole thing to go into. And then Isla, I just felt she embodied it so incredibly. Um, Wanting to have this kind of kinship with Jesus, maybe as a way of retribution for that,
Yeah.
past scorn from God, and
Yeah. It's the healing,
that became
ultimate healing, right? Ultimate healing and forgiveness, right?
exactly. And then, I just think she just ended up doing an amazing thing, and it reminded me at times of like Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner, like uh,
Yes.
this kind of like uh very very vulnerable, like almost tender moment with the antagonist at the end, that I think she just did so special. So anyway, I could go on about her.
Yeah, no, you did an incredible. I was just the casting is phenomenal like that. And you just distilling each one of their elements together as well too. You get it, and you see that beautifully together. Even in Noah, how he's embodies both a little bit of, even though he's not
Hmm.
Nicholas's son or whatever, not Joseph's son, whoever's son he is, he still has some of that very human rebelliousness about him too. So I love seeing all these pieces come together.
Yeah.
So. This is horror, like straight up horror, like this that which is wild to me, which I love. What made you fall in love with horror, or why choose this genre for this story?
Yeah, well, like I was saying before, I think just looking at the suddenly addressing making a biblical era film, and something about the Holy Family and this period, and something that could fit within the story of the New Testament. And I just thought, it dawned on me that if you take a lot of the Bible literally, at face value, it would be scary, you know. So really, it was just that sort of simple novel idea. Horror to me is not something that I really subscribed to that much growing up. Like with movies, I really was like terrified of horror movies, too scared to really even watch them, you know.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, I I was a
how you
side
doing
note, like
now?
my now I've watched a lot of them, but like when I was a kid, I shared a bedroom with my brother, and I wouldn't watch The Exorcist. I was just like too scared to watch it. He had the VHS tape, and he would put it under my pillow sometimes. The tape, the VHS tape,
Oh no.
and I was scared of just the tape. The tape scared the hell out of me. So I mean, that was like
I mean, physical
I just
media can be terrifying, so I do
yeah,
understand.
right, yeah, exactly, yeah, Videodrome. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, I ended up developing a real appreciation for horror movies for a couple of reasons. I think one is just from a filmmaking standpoint and what they do as movies is just offer such a special visceral thing. Like you start to The Exorcist has now become one of my favorite movies of all time just because of what it does to you, you
Hmm.
know? And I think that that's actually really powerful experience, almost physical, you know, um, when it's done to that degree,
Right.
obviously. I think that one's sort of in its own camp completely. And then also now I think that the audience, the horror audience is really interested in like in complicated, artistic, nuanced movies, it seems, and I think that that's really exciting, where it's like it can kind of reach a sort of mainstream thing with some weird films,
Yeah.
and strange scenes and set pieces. And, I just think that it's harder to slip that pill in other genres,
Oh yeah. I love that art house is basically like horror is like the art house like shoehorn, right? Like it's just
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
you look at A24, I'm like, that's like really just an art house. Like if you want to get technical about what they're putting out there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. That's brilliant. I love that. And I love that that's
Yeah.
kind of your way in. Um, is there any other horror movie? Obviously, we got The Exorcist. Sounds like you're probably your favorite. Are there any other horror movies that were, I guess, influential to this piece or anything else that you were using, as inspiration?
Mm. Um, I mean, I was just watching a lot of them as I was working, but there wasn't necessarily a lot that I was directly referencing, but The Exorcist is one that I think is so inspiring. Let the Right One In, the original Let
Ooh,
the Right One In. I loved
yeah.
loved that film. The Wailing, um, Onibaba, I watched as well while I was
Okay.
making this film. Have you seen that one?
I haven't. Tell
Oh,
me
it's
about
great.
it.
It's a
Yeah.
special classic. It's a old Japanese film.
Okay.
This mother and daughter who are ransacking wandering soldiers during a war,
Oh,
and
okay. Say less.
is it
Say less.
masked.
Okay.
It's very, very, very stylish, and the images in that are amazing. Although I wouldn't say that was a direct reference for this.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Um,
Sometimes it can be energetic inspirations too. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Going into
exactly,
something.
exactly. Yeah,
I'm always looking for recommendations. We're building out our programming for next year. We do a different movie every week on our show usually. So I love like good recommendation, and especially something that I can go, aha, from
uh-huh.
something that we just watched as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
well that's a really special one, Onibaba. I think that's a
okay.
great film.
Adding it to the list right now. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Yeah.
Sweet. So The Exorcist is scary, but was there anything else that's like the scariest horror movie that's ever, that you've ever seen or anything you'd put in that category? It's not always the best movie, it's sometimes something that really scares you.
Hmm, a tough one.
Hmm. I'm here for the hard-hitting journalism. Just kidding.
I think, to me, that one really is up there for me. I guess arachnophobia for me also just because I'm afraid of spiders.
Okay. You and my
Um,
co-host Julia, she's also afraid of them. I understand. I like to put fake ones around her when I can.
oh God, that's sadistic, but I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's fun.
Delightful, delightful evil.
Yeah.
Chaotic
Yeah.
good.
And what
Hmm.
else? I really liked The Thing also. I think that was a
Hmm.
fun one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Hmm.
Um, Although, I don't see these things as necessarily scary now. Oh, you know what was very frightening was Event Horizon. I thought
Yes.
that as a kid was really scary, and Hellraiser, that was very scary.
Yeah.
Also, Gremlins as a kid. which I don't think was supposed to be a horror film, but it was a kids film, and the SFX and the little gremlins were really scary as a
Yeah,
little kid. You know, I thought those were terrifying.
they're still kind of creepy. They're really, really well done. That's a
Yeah,
really beautiful
yeah,
practical effect. We love Joe Dante on our show. He's good friends with my co-host Julia, and
yeah.
big fans of him ruining Christmas for a lot of kids, and Santa
That's good. Yeah, yeah,
for a whole
yeah.
generation of people. So no, absolutely terrifying. Um,
Yeah.
Incredible. So, what's next for you? Are you, anyone else you're looking to collaborate with, or any of your, dream collaborators are putting out there for upcoming projects?
I'm just kind of cooking the next one and taking my time a little bit to get it there and get ready to talk about it. But it's a fun one. And it's also in the horror space. I want to keep digging into that.
That's what I wanted to hear. Okay, no.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Anything about the industry that you would love to like if you were giving advice to like people coming behind you, any industry stuff you want to let them know, like something about the industry that maybe people don't understand that maybe they should be patient on or whatever.
Mm, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure I have any like sage wisdom to give with
It
that.
may
You
not
know,
feel
it's
that
like
way. You never know.
I
Anything you
think it's just
wish you had
I
told
think it's just
yourself like
good.
10 years ago,
Yeah. I think you just have to be the most excited about your film, out of anybody, and be ready to champion it for a long time, and be able to endure. I think if you stick with one thing to stand by long enough, you'll get it done.
I love that. Stick by one thing long enough, get it done.
Yeah.
I'm working on a ADHD makes it really hard, but I'm working on that. All right. Um, all right. What do you love about the horror community now that you're working in it? What has surprised you?
Well, like I said, it's really the audience. I think the appetite for nuanced, complicated movies, that I think visually they push the envelope a lot, and to me, that's really it. I think it's a great opportunity to make really expressive work and visual. You know.
Absolutely. Sweet. Well, I don't know what else to ask you right now. I mean, unless there anything else you want to say. I mean, obviously tell everybody to see your movie. The Carpenter's Son, you guys, it's rolling out in our city right now, which is exciting. There's screenings happening in LA. Um,
Hmm.
Anything else people should know before they see this film? Anything they should go in, knowing or not knowing?
No, maybe the less the better, actually. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. We love going in cold to something and then being absolutely surprised. Where
Yeah.
can people find you? Should they follow Where should they follow you, find all of your work, all that kind of good stuff? I know you have your other film Harka from 2022. Where can we find
Yeah.
all of that?
Yeah. It's I'm not sure exactly where that is right now. I don't know if that one ever really had its life in the US. So good luck.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And
Of
thank you
course.
for making this beautiful and, this beautiful piece. This is intense, like a trip out to the wilderness, It's great.
Thank you so
Sweet.
much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pray. Find the strength to bear against Satan.
What does Satan look like?
Like people amongst us.
Have you ever seen it?